Welcome to A Man's Journey. I'm Christopher Valona.
And I'm secondhand Steve.
Thank you for joining us. It is Monday, October 21st.
And to the bazillions out there, welcome.
We only hope. We only hope. It is almost Halloween. As you can see, my latest little attraction back there, my little pumpkin buddy, he showed up late last night, courtesy of UPS.
Everyone with Halloween stuff is finally getting around to put it on this weekend. And if you walk around the neighborhood where I live, it's wonderful.
I put it up August 1st.
That's hardcore.
I just love it. And when this is done, Christmas trees are going up front.
I got a prediction that Halloween is going to be bigger than Christmas in 5 years.
Halloween is going to be bigger than Christmas in 5 years.
Yeah.
Is that from your little data when you walk around Costco?
I don't see any Christmas stores opening up in abandoned warehouses that are completely full and doing business months before the actual holiday. So if you look at it from a consumer standpoint, the Spirit Halloweens, the pop-up Halloween stores, they're marketing geniuses.
Well, what do they say? It's always Christmas in July.
Hallmark says that, I think.
And that supersedes Halloween.
But Christmas actually almost died before that guy wrote that book, A Christmas Story with Ebenezer Scrooge. It was falling off the map. But that's just trivia.
I see. And these are myths. These are myths.
Myths?
Half truths, if you will.
Who?
Saint Nick.
Yeah, what happened to him?
I bet you don't know.
Well, it depends who you talk to, actually.
Wasn't it somebody that was telling me that was a made up that's a made up thing from the Christianity. I was reading this book, and that Saint Nick is really not a saint.
I don't know anything about that.
You don't know anything about you don't know anything. Unbelievable! I finally am stumped. Secondhand Steve. This guy is a walking Encyclopedia Britannica. And for those of you that are just too young when you're watching that show, that's how we went and got our information. There was no internet. We couldn't just do our clicks. Yeah.
There was actually people selling encyclopedias door to door in the 50s.
Right. And
basically, like to make your living doing that.
Yeah, that was called the book tour. Yeah. And it wasn't the Mormons that invented it. It was the book salesmen. They would sell encyclopedias door to door.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't have a set, you had to go to the library and get it. See, and we had to do our reports page by page by page, not by the clicks and finding the information.
Remember the microfiche at the library?
Yes. I spent hours in there.
This is before computers.
So microfiche are tiny little discs that have a tiny little print on them that when you put them onto a screen and it magnifies, and it's like I guess it's like newspapers.
So they figured the best way at the time with the technology they had, if we shrink it, we can put more information on a smaller area. So one microfiche might equal a book. It might have every page in it.
Yeah.
And yet each one was, like I don't even know the unit of measurement, a centimeter by a centimeter. And that one little picture had all that information from the one page.
I always used to love going into the
for you young people, I think you apologize right now because this can't be entertaining.
The library used to pull up the old newspaper copies on not the microfiche, but on the glass. I forget what it was called. But you would go into this big monitor and you'd have this little toggle switch, and you would put in the slide, not the microfiche, but some sort of a tape, and you'd hit this button backwards or forwards, and it would sound like, and you would get up to the daily page of the newspaper that you needed to do research on. And it went back and back and back. It was good times. And then microfiche, of course. And
librarians. Don't forget about librarians.
And overhead projectors.
The shushers of society.
Elmer's glue.
Elmer's glue. What does that have to do with libraries?
Oh man, there's a lot of glue in that place.
Ah,
Mm. What about the cardstock folders?
index cards,
Yeah, those things, the
Rolodex.
Rolodexes, and oh my God, if you wanted to find a book, again, you never use this because it wasn't invented yet. You'd have to go to the library. You'd have to talk to the librarian,
Mhm.
who was always kind of like either angry or cute, sometimes both. And then you would say, I am looking for Tom Sawyer. Now, for those of you that are too young to understand what Tom Sawyer is, I can have a whole show on this crap. I'm old.
We might want to get back to our intention.
Right. So,
Sorry about chasing that
oh man,
squirrel.
yeah, squirrel.
And we went for it.
Okay, so tonight on A Man's Journey, we're going to talk about where is it? Career transitions in the workplace as a caregiver. And so I know that's kind of convoluted. Yes, you can use my card, Jess, about what we're going to talking about. So we're going to talk about navigating career changes, different types of jobs. We're also going to talk about different types of ways to have that job, from working for the man, as they would say, or working for yourself, which is called entrepreneurship, and adapting to this ever-changing, evolving job landscape.
So I'm a caregiver. I got a family member who I take care of,
Yeah.
but I got my eye on this nice, perfect job, 9 to 5, weekends off, holidays off,
Mhm.
but I can't take it.
Why can't you take it, Steve? Sign me
I
up.
can't take it because I'm a caregiver. I can't take it because I have obligations, duties, doctor's appointments. I've got specialists. I've got speech therapy. And the list goes on and on and on. And all the things I need happen during regular hours.
I see. So what are we to do?
Now I have to find a way to make a little money.
Hmm.
If I need to supplement on top of being a caregiver, to take care of things, to get bills paid, to, take care of the roof over my head and the food in my fridge.
So if you can't take those jobs, how are we supposed to transition out of caregiving into these jobs? Who's going to take care of the kid?
That's why we're having the show today.
That's right. That's right. It's a tough decision to make. It's a lot easier if you're, married, or if you have a domestic partner. Usually, one person holds down the lion's share of making money, and the other person holds the lion's share of actually caring for that person, so that person can stay alive.
So the family, the relationship, whatever situation you have, you adapt to what's best for the individual that needs the care.
Improvise.
And it's not going to be what you picked out of life. It's not going to be where you showed up on career day in high school. It's not going to be what you chose in your mind when you thought, hey, this would be a great idea. I want to go in this direction. You should still maybe aim part of yourself in that direction, but we need to take care of what's in front of us at home, and that's the individual that needs the help.
And then we can overcome. We can overcome those challenges by, using that mantra. Career day was awesome at college.
Would you want to be?
Oh my God. I wanted to be rich. I wanted to be famous.
Remember what being an astronaut was actually obtainable in your mind?
Yeah. I mean, I remember talking to those guys on campus at ASU, those NASA guys. I think that was NASA. It was some aerospace company out of Scottsdale. I think McDonnell Douglas, and they asked me if I was good at math.
What'd you say?
I said no. I cheated. I cheated my way through math. And he says,
Isn't that what calculators are for?
Yeah, that's what he said too. And he says, you need math to actually understand physics. Have you taken physics? I'm like, no. So I kept walking down to the next table, of course, but it was not as obtainable as you thought. Because once the whole idea, ooh, we're gonna go to space and we're gonna spacewalk, when you actually had to go through what was required.
It's what I meant by the job you wanted or your dream job.
Oh.
It's career day happens before life snuffs out your dreams and your hopes and the direction you want to go.
Yeah.
It's there's a time when we're young and all the possibilities of life unfold in front of us. It seems that way. And then as we get older, here's a left turn I didn't expect. Here's a very right turn I didn't expect. There's a bump that wasn't there last week. And we have to adjust to what happens with our lives. And it's a stream. It changes directions. It speeds up. It slows down. It tosses us out sometimes. And we have to be here for all of it. It's
sounds like a day at the water park, Steve.
It's a good analogy for getting tossed around by life, because life never happens in a straight line.
Well, life happens when you show up. That's what I was taught. So here we are showing up, talking about these challenges and these changes. I mean, we're both telling you right now that I don't think we signed up for being a caregiver.
No. It just happens. Like I said before, I think it finds you sometimes. And one of the things I had to do as a little side gig was driving for I drove for Uber and Lyft for a while.
So did I.
And just when I needed to go make some money, and it turned out after taxes, it wasn't worth it for me.
Gas.
Kind of going backwards, actually.
Gas prices,
wear and tear on the vehicle was the big one for me.
It was good. I had a great Halloween night when I was driving for Uber one night. I made a lot of money that night.
Oh, that's because it's like
it was crazy.
You're in that red zone and you get paid 3 times as much.
Yeah,
the demand.
But I didn't have the XL. I had a tiny little car, but still had a lot of fun.
And if you need cash instantly, then a job like that can put food money in your bank that day.
Yeah.
If you set up the account to do such, and sometimes that just might be what you need. But for me, I could never ever depend on that.
Are we talking just trying to find extra income right now? So when do we have the time?
Yeah,
so who's watching the person when you're out driving for Uber?
Hopefully you have it set up so you have someone coming in at a certain time and you're able to take off during that time.
I see. I got lucky. I had school. So I could like from 12 to 2:30 or 3 I could drive.
Our daycare program, depending what you're able to have access to where you live.
You also know there's another great idea to make extra money: selling blood.
I got O negative. How much can I get?
Sell your plasma.
I've never done that.
Yeah, you can make some decent money during the day. Yeah, it's
hook me up.
Put a needle in me.
Put a drip on me. I can make money while I'm doing this.
But so getting back to the real challenges, we don't make enough money to sustain our homes or cars.
No one becomes a caregiver to get rich.
We don't have.
No one becomes a caregiver and says, "I never have to buy a lottery ticket again."
Pay the bills, that kind of stuff. I play the lottery.
Well, yeah, because you're a caregiver.
You know how I afford that? I stopped going to Starbucks. Anyway, so these are the things that we have. Real challenging issues, and sometimes it could be fun, sometimes it's all right, but let's just say you are married,
okay,
and you are trying to figure out, hey, we're gonna have another conversation, someone's got to go to work and someone's got to stay home.
I know young couples today who have a child and they don't know it right away, but the child's being diagnosed on the spectrum. Now it begins with the phone calls, the forms, the being put on hold, the what's available, what do I have access to, what resources can I get hold of? And in all cases that I've ever seen, no one's prepared for it. The only thing that even makes it remotely easier is someone with experience who's done it before you, that'll share that with you. And even then, they don't have the shortcuts. They'll just tell you this is what needs to be done to get what you need for your child.
I appreciate you saying the shortcuts, because to me there are no shortcuts, to be honest with you. That's the problem. I don't know what shortcuts you're talking about, because the minute you start cutting corners is the minute that things start falling apart or accidents happen. So
that's the thing. There are no someone there to tell you there are no shortcuts. You have to make the calls. You have to stay on hold for a half hour, hour at a time, or whatever it is. the amount of ridiculousness and trying to pull teeth and make things happen are waiting just to find out it's the wrong number, or they can't help you because of your case is this file over here. And all these things you're gonna have to go through. And you're not alone. We've all done it. Our wives or spouses have all done it. It's just almost built into the system. But we did do it. And as a result, the people we love and care about and take care of have resources and different things that we fought for. And you got to fight too. No one gets off the hook.
Well, one way that you can stay home and still care for your person as a caregiver is to become an entrepreneur. And you can work from home and you can create a job or create a business or create a thing or the next new, go to, right? I mean, and that,
but it's, you make it sound so easy.
it is because we have the internet. Inside the box, you guys are all watching me. Everything happens on the box.
I see all these different social media things for work at home, remote jobs. Make this, it sounds ridiculous how much money you can make for such little time. So how many scams are there? How many?
Oh, I know. I'm just saying that if you wanted to do something like create a small business from the privacy of your home, so you can stay home, be a caregiver, just like kind of like this show. It's kind of like an entrepreneurial. I'll be right back. My son needs me and he's screaming my name.
Which happens now and then. We're actually at the home of my client. That's his father. And sometimes he needs things. Sometimes life just happens. And so we try to take 1 hour just for this podcast where we can come to you and bring you some information. But we get thrown a curveball now and then, like this. What am I supposed to talk about? I don't know. Give me a minute to think of something. Sounds like he's coming back.
What's going on?
So we just cured all the ailments of the world. Sorry you missed it. We learned how to levitate and a few other things.
I didn't hear anything. We got a break?
Exactly.
Oh my God. I'm terribly sorry. Sometimes even when you have multiple caregivers in your home, they are always doing something, right? And sometimes you just need to kind of step in and take care of the person, which is my son.
This is what we do.
Yeah.
So that comes before it.
And now the fucking dog needs to go out. So hold on.
I hope you spelled out with a PH.
All right. Okay, so we were talking about entrepreneurship.
Make a little money at home.
That's right. So there are tons and tons of people out there willing to scam you, like Steve said. But let's just say you had an idea and you wanted people to buy a product. Today, it's so easy to do it with yourself. Yes, it takes some time, but here's the thing. You're already home. You have all the time in the world. Let's say that you just fed your caregiving needs person, right? Or you change the diaper, or they're going for a nap. That's when you work on your business, right? You can create a Facebook page for free. You can create Instagram for free, and you can create Spotify for free. Yeah. So it's not that hard. I was also an Amazon seller for many years. I made a few bucks a week. I think 300 or 400 extra a week.
The internet site or the actual Amazon?
The actual Amazon. So I was a part of the fulfillment. Yeah. So, I mean, these are things that you can do. It's going to take some time. And I would suggest you, if you were going to do that and make some extra money, do something that's fun. Don't do entrepreneurship to think you're going to just be extremely wealthy like 20 seconds later, because there are 10 million people just like you who are talking right now who want to start a business.
I know some people who are selling on eBay and either going to thrift stores or buying pallets. And both of them are doing it full time and they're both doing very well. But for someone to take it to a small scale where they can work on it between naps and feedings, it's just a matter of finding something that you could sell for more.
But you can do it. We're trying to give you a direction to go, or maybe a new idea you didn't think of. You could.
And start with stuff in your home.
But listen, one of the things I will tell you is start a business with things that people need, not want. Don't tap into that disposable income demographic, because right now you want to start a business with things that people need. Let's say you're in the caregiving space like us, right? Are you in the caregiving space?
I'm in the caregiving space.
What do you think these kids need or these adults need?
That would make their life easier?
Or it would help you as a caregiver?
I would have to give that some thought. Nothing is popping into my head right now.
How about some wheelchairs?
That was actually the first thing that popped into my head, but
Yeah. How about some walkers, crutches? You can buy that in bulk all day long.
things that make showering easier, things that make
shower chairs,
cleaning easier,
toilet chairs.
things that make transportation easier.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're coming up to it's fall is here, winter's gonna come.
What makes transportation easier? I'm curious.
What would make transportation
Yeah,
easier?
tell me.
With winter coming,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a big umbrella to get my client into the van.
Umbrellas, I forgot. Look, I got two of them over there. Check them out. They're not big, they're the tiny ones, but they work. Okay.
And so we also need to adjust for the weather, for
Yeah.
the season, whether it's hot, whether it's cold.
Sunscreen.
You had a custom ramp built in the front of your house.
That's a Watterson, by the way.
I wish he would have signed it. He did a beautiful job on that. If you don't have a friend who's a general contractor who can just whip out a handicap ramp in an afternoon, then
You better get one.
yeah, if they're worth their weight in gold.
What were you saying about the ramp, though? I don't get it.
It's one more thing, because there's different types of ramps depending on how your house is set up.
You think we should sell that service?
Well, they have not that service, but portable ramps.
Yes. Mobility Works has a metal portable ramp that attaches to the front of your house steps.
Right.
So it's like there's like that's just this one space. Let's say you're a guy that likes cars. What would you do? How would you get into that business? You would sell accessories. You could be an eBay affiliate. There's a big market right there for car parts.
Or also just go on Etsy, get some ideas.
Etsy's pretty cool.
Go on other sites too and see what other people are doing that might get your interest.
I found that Etsy's not just for girls.
No,
it's for men.
I watch a guy that sharpens knives at swap meets, and I bought a used belt sander.
Survivalist.
And I haven't gotten good with it yet, but it's just another thing to do. That could be a hobby that can also make you some money. So just stay open to the possibilities.
I agree. I mean, there's so many different ways to make money. The problem is, I think that a lot of us we get burnt out and we get tired. We got to do the caregiving job, and then we want to start this other thing.
And there's never any safety or security in being an entrepreneur. But it has to be that way. It really does. It's going to show you what kind of tenacity you have.
Yeah.
It's going to show you what you're made out of. And if you're just going to lay down and you want the regular job where they're going to take care of you and put some money away for when you're old, you might be cheating yourself out of an opportunity.
What about investing in the stock market?
I don't have good experience with that, so I would not be the one to talk to. Have you done better?
I have a great story, actually. When I was married, I was working, and I would put in about $2,000 a month.
Put it in where?
To the stock market.
Okay.
And one day, that airline JetBlue came on as a new company. 2,000 shares into Blue.
$2,000 or
2,000 shares in the JetBlue. Let's just put it this way: I bought a beautiful Hummer when I cashed out, so it can work. But I mean, I should have left it in there. I probably would have had like 5 Hummers by now. But cryptocurrency, which is volatile, but it works. By no means that this is sage advice. Please don't follow our lead. These are just suggestions only. You can do the work and you can do the research, but let's see, what else have I done? I had a paper route. I delivered papers. You know what a newspaper is, everybody?
I've seen him on the History Channel.
Jeez. So a newspaper is where we got our news, not like in the box here in the internet. This thing right here.
Stop it. They know.
Okay, well, some of them may not. A newspaper it was printed news, and you can still get some of them outside. And some, if you guys go to Starbucks, some Starbucks still sell newspapers. That's where you got all the newspapers that had all the events that happened the day before, or even some papers.
It went the way of the Brontosaurus because it was replaced by the Internetosaurus.
Yeah. Anyway, so we would deliver papers to people's homes in the morning. Let's see, what else did we do?
There's car detailing businesses.
I
There's
did that for 10 years.
depending how old you are, how much strength you
Yeah,
have, what
yeah.
you can do, and your skill set.
Yeah.
Are you good at finesse stuff, or are you just
Yeah,
good
patience.
at digging holes? Like,
Can you deal with people? Do you like people?
always a loaded question.
Yeah, I know. So these are just a few steps, but I want to ask you guys if you could put it down in the chat, what other suggestions you might have for the men that are listening right now that we haven't really, touched base on, so anything that may spark some really great conversations about entrepreneurship, just leave them in the chat. We'll get to it when we simply can. What do you do when you get fired? That's tough because you are finally got the balance, right? You got the job, you got the work and lover and family, and you're taking care of the caregiving aspects, and all of a sudden, let me lose your job.
Well, first off, if you haven't been fired yet, you haven't lived. It's almost a rite of passage.
Yeah.
And especially in this day and age, they don't even call it that anymore. They find the nicest ways to let you go and make it, not hurt. But the bottom line is,
Oh yeah.
you have to be responsible with what you're doing now and the money you have now, and always know that could be around the corner. So while you have something steady, you prepare for that, just as you would prepare for the power went out this entire morning at my house.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh, that sucks.
We went Amish, and we went full Amish this morning.
Well, you went full.
I even told my youngest daughter, I said, I got a good book if you want to try. She didn't think that was funny at all.
One of the things that you don't know about secondhand Stevie, he's a survival enthusiast. So
Not really.
yes, you have more knives than my like kitchenware, so knock it off.
It's a collection. I'm a collector.
Then again, so I correct.
Inexpensive.
So did you guys panic over there? You got a house full of women. Oh, it's a dog.
Actually, it wasn't bad. I got some things done that didn't require power. The gas still worked, so I was still able to
make some food,
heat up breakfast. And I have I was gonna make my wife coffee in this AeroPress I have, which is for camping.
Yeah.
But it's cappuccino machines don't work when the power is out.
Arrow. It's like
There's Sophia the dog.
Sorry. See, we don't stop here. Everybody needs something. Well,
It's like you're coming over to the house.
What?
It's like if a guest came over to the house, this is what they would experience.
Well, I'm just I'm amazed. I'm amazed that we accomplish so much. Doing what we do. I feel that it's like what Steve had said earlier. You're back? Spa doesn't work. Just so you know, if you're in Valencia Valley, the jacuzzi's closed. So my lovely girlfriend was trying to take a moment for herself, but apparently that's not going to work out.
Not today.
No, not today. So I forgot what I was going to tell you.
It must have been good.
See, this is 55.
You're talking about being an entrepreneur,
I
looking
already-
for money.
I already did that. We already talked about that.
I have no idea when you switch gears.
Well,
But I will say this.
tell me, help me.
There was a time that I couldn't balance a checkbook. So what even would make me think I could be responsible enough to handle $1 million? And someone once told me once, until you can take care of your car the same way you would take care of your dream car. In other words, let's say I used to have this old Honda Civic with almost 300,000 miles on it. When I could take care of that like I would a brand new Ferrari, then I could take care of a new Ferrari. And what I had to do was I had to start seeing that I need to start being more responsible with my money. I needed to, even though it wasn't a large amount by any means, I need to know where it was, how much I had, where it was going. I needed to have a budget. I never learned how to do these things. I had to pretty much teach myself. And so depending on your situation, how much you're making, do you know how much is in your wallet or purse right now?
Yes.
Now, most people don't know that. They can guess.
I do.
But to be responsible, because think of money as energy.
Okay.
And you're using it to exchange for something. Otherwise, you're just throwing your money away, right? So it's an exchange. So you always, if you can, you want to come out with an outcome that benefits everyone. And I had to learn the proper way to use money. Otherwise, I would just waste it on useless things, things that just did not help me in any way. All they helped was like a false image I was trying to bring about. That jacket I didn't need, but it looked good. Just the silly things that I thought were important. And life will teach you. It'll humble you. It'll show you what you need and where your priorities should be. But I never got there until I started being responsible for what I had first. Otherwise, I'm living in a fantasy of if I get this, I'll handle it this way. And there's no reality there.
You see.
So know what you have, be responsible for what you have. Your car, are you taking care of it?
Yes.
A lot of people, they wait till it breaks before they take it in. Do you let your car go below half a tank before you fill it up?
Yes.
Why?
Because I don't want to stop.
So
I have places to be, Steve.
I try to keep mine, if it goes below half, filled up in case for whatever reason I'm in a situation where I need to go somewhere and there is nowhere to stop. So little things like that, little tweaks.
I get it. You're calling yourself a planner.
Well, we're caretakers, so something's always going to go wrong. Something's always going to take too long. Something's going to break. Something's not going to happen. I'm going to have to leave wherever I am at and then pick someone up. And so I have to be able to adapt to things like that. And it helps me if I know what I have and what I don't have. It helps me if I know where I'm weak and where I'm strong. And when to ask for help, or maybe when I can handle it. So I need to know what they call it, situational awareness, where I'm at right now with what I got.
You put way too much emphasis on just filling up your tank, bro. Yeah. I mean, we're not even thinking past the third sentence. We're going down the street, we're putting gas in our car, and then we're coming back so we can go to the grocery store or wherever we got to go. It's interesting. You put everything into this lesson.
I put it, well, I can't let one thing go and take care of everything else. For me, it all has to have a sense of responsibility behind it.
Are you on the spectrum by chance?
I think I am.
You think you're a little bit autistic?
I think I am undiagnosed ADHD, OCD, DTD. I got them all.
Did you get a lollipop with all those diagnoses?
No, what I got was would do so much better in school if he would just sit still.
A lot of excuses I hear. All right, coming up, we're going to talk more about how you can find your balance with making additional money or a new job. And there's two different scenarios. One is the married scenario, or you're living with your domestic partner, and there's the one by yourself. So we want to continue this conversation. And I wish that the features were working that I installed here earlier, but nobody's listening to me on the internet. And I'm just trying to figure it all out. Like Steve says, if you don't have a plan, nothing works out.
The guy who tells me, don't worry about the gas tank. Look what's happening now. Don't you wish your tank was full now?
Oh, my love tank is full. Yeah.
Wrong show.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm trying to find our subs. All right,
So
so
it's,
I found it. But
Look what's happening.
it's we, we were doing good here, but we got let's see.
what are you doing right now?
I'm looking at the playback on, oh, you can't see that. God, that's bright. And I'm trying to find the live chat. So
Oh, to engage with someone?
yeah, and nobody's watching. Hopefully in the playback they will. All right.
It doesn't matter. We're here to do what we're here to
What
do.
are we doing, Steve?
We're trying to help people.
Maybe they don't want the help.
We're trying to let people know you're not alone.
You want the help? Do you want to be better caregivers? Do you want to be better men? Do you want to have a different path?
Do you want to know you're not alone? Do you want to know that there's help and resources?
Crickets, Steve. Crickets.
I don't mind crickets at all. I think they're wonderful. And you know, you can tell the temperature by how fast a cricket is chirping.
Just don't need it. What?
They actually, there's a math formula by how many times they chirp, and you can tell what the temperature is. And if you don't believe me, good. Find out for yourself.
This is some NSA type stuff, man. Again, the survivalist telling me how to like know what time of day the weather's going to change by the chirping of a cricket's legs. Interesting. You got a lot of time on your hands, don't you?
No, I was just bringing up adorable, cute trivia, and you turned it into that.
I didn't turn in anything. I'm the normal one, remember? I'm the normal one. Mostly. You know, all I gotta say is that I have failed at more jobs than I was successful, and I have made no money in entrepreneurship. Like you're supposed to be popping bottles and driving sports cars and getting your yachts. I never experienced any of that.
I think what you've experienced is reality.
Well, my friends have those same things I just said. That's their reality. Not everybody is successful in that realm. But what I wanted to tell you was this. Hold on. My point is this. I firmly believe that every time you fail, you're that much closer to success. Right? But here's the thing. If I never tried, and if I never attempted, I never would have been where I am today. And I am right where I'm supposed to be. Isn't that right, secondhand?
I think that is probably the realest thing I've heard you say.
Oh,
Because this is the way it is. So it has to be this way.
I don't know what else I would be doing if I didn't have Sebastian or Gage. Maybe I should have stayed married. Nope. No. But all I'm saying is if you don't try, you'll never know. And you need to fail a ton of time. Secondhand said it earlier about failing. What did you say, Steve? You said something very whimsical. I'm surprised you haven't failed yet, or something like that.
Oh, if you haven't been fired,
You haven't
You
been
haven't
fired.
lived.
If you haven't been fired, you ain't living.
it's all part of it. It's all part of the experience. A couple divorces, a few bankruptcies, a couple firings, some car rollovers, you know, the usual. Keeping it light,
Not this guy.
keeping life interesting.
Just an arrest, punching a cop. That doesn't help you.
But the truth is, where you are right now, where you are and where you are, is where we're at. And I got to play the hand I'm dealt. And I have to work with what's in front of me right now. I have to give up the idea that if I just had this, it would be so much better, because I don't have it. So I have to start working with what I have, what's in front of me right now. And I can start with that.
I see. Okay.
And I just have to make a beginning. I have to just maybe point myself in the direction I want to go instead of just being stagnant.
Mm. I like it. No one likes stagnant water. You have to boil that, don't you, to drink it?
Well, there's stagnant water and there's still water.
Of course.
And when you figure out the difference, maybe you're onto something.
Well, I believe we're kind of out of things to discuss about you men trying to find ways to make a little bit of extra coin or entrepreneurship. We're gonna talk more about that. It looks like down the road. I believe.
And maybe come at you with some better ideas that we've seen work, or that maybe someone sends us because they're doing real good at it.
Yeah,
It's just, it's nice when someone gets hold of us and they have direct experience that they've been through. Not I've heard, or a friend of mine, or my second cousin's best friend's neighbor. Just no, not that, but direct experience of I've tried this, it's worked for me, or I've tried this and it didn't work for me. And maybe we can pass some of that good information on to other people.
I would say that that would be a great thing if people could start sharing their ideas or their stories or their experiences in this space of male caregiving. We would love to have you on the show. We would love to share your story. We would love to have you call in or do whatever you want. The world is our oyster. And until people that own this company say we can't, we're going to keep doing it. So, like I said, we're going to talk more about financial security and how to make money later on down the road here in the rest of the year. But tonight we're talking about that career transitions. And I think to sum it up, it's you got to try. You have to put away the fear and take that big step and, try. And it's okay if you get fired. There's something bigger waiting for you. That's what I was always taught. So how to evolve in these ever job changing markets, I think that we have to evolve. I think we have to have different types of expectations. And I know that if you listen to my programming before on other shows and my other interview shows, you know that I live by this mantra. Expectations are nothing but planned disappointments. However, if you change the expectation, maybe you lower it a little bit more into reality, more into the space that you want to go into, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Don't give up. One foot in front of the other. Small steps, nothing too grandiose. Little things, and because it's the ants, not the elephants, that are going to pull you out, pull you through, and help you the most. So
the ants.
Take care of the ants. The elephants will take care of themselves.
Chocolate ants. Yeah. You like chocolate ants?
Never had one.
They're pretty weird.
Not on my
crickets
to-do list. No.
Don't eat the cricket.
The insect realm doesn't belong in my stomach.
Oof. I was hungry. No, I'm not. All right. We've had enough of you, just like you've had enough of us as men. We've had enough. So we're going to tap out. We appreciate you joining us tonight on YouTube Live. A Man's Journey. I'm Chris Valona.
I'm Secondhand Steve. Be gentle with yourself
Ooh,
and all those in front of you.
that's right. Namaste. I'm trying yoga. Just knock it off. It's okay. So we're going to say goodbye.